Hola, hola.
Good morning, everyone. I am Executive Director Roger Young on the Florida
Here we
Fish and
go.
Wildlife Conservation Commission. I am joined by Major Evan Laskowski.
I'll fix the volume.
And Officer Brad Johnson. And as Executive Director of the FWC, it is with profound sadness that I address you today regarding the tragic alligator attack that claimed a life on Tiger Creek in Polk County. First and foremost, I want to extend our deepest condolences to the family, loved ones, and the friends and the community of the family, and our heartfelt prayers go out to them. This is a devastating loss, and our hearts go out to everyone affected by this tragedy. We've launched a full investigation into what happened and are working closely with our law enforcement partners, our biologists, and our wildlife specialists, and the Polk County Sheriff's Office. I want to say a thanks to Sheriff Grady Judd and to the Polk County Sheriff's Office for all their assistance in this investigation. We are working hard to understand exactly what happened. While alligator attacks resulting in fatalities are extremely rare, this tragedy serves as a somber reminder of the powerful wildlife that share our natural spaces. We remain committed to public safety while also balancing our wildlife resources. So for more information on the incident, I'm going to turn it over to Major Laskowski. Major.
Thank you, Director Young. Good morning. I'm FWC Major Evan Laskowski of the Southwest region. So yesterday on May 6th, FWC and the Polk County Sheriff's Office responded to the report of an alligator incident at the mouth of Tiger Creek on Lake Kissimmee. A husband and wife were canoeing in a 14-foot canoe in approximately 2.5 feet of water. Their canoe passed over a large alligator. The alligator thrashed and tipped the canoe over, and both individuals ended up in the water. The female victim, Cynthia Diekma, age 61, of Davenport, was sitting in the bow of the canoe at the time of the incident. She ended up on top of the alligator in the water and was bitten. Her husband attempted to intervene but was unsuccessful. She was later spotted by a Polk County Sheriff's Office helicopter and recovered by FWC officers on a vessel. Contracted nuisance alligators responded to the scene last night and recovered an 11-foot 4-inch alligator, matching the length description of the alligator involved in the incident. We still have trappers on scene today, and they just recovered a second alligator approximately 10 to 11 foot in length.
Wow.
This investigation is still ongoing and will release further information regarding the specifics of the investigation as it becomes available. And with that, I'll turn it over to our Public Information Officer, Bradley Johnson, for some talking points on alligator safety. Thank you.
Well, they said they're safe, them alligators.
Good morning.
Safer than plain.
The FWC places the
cars.
highest priority on public safety and administers a statewide nuisance alligator program known as SNAP. SNAP uses contract nuisance alligator trappers throughout the state to remove alligators believed to pose a threat to people, pets, or property. People with concerns about an alligator should call FWC's toll-free nuisance alligator hotline at 866-FWC-GATOR. That's 866-392-4286, and we will dispatch a contracted nuisance alligator trapper to resolve the situation. The FWC also works to keep Floridians and visitors informed and recommend the following precautionary measures near alligators, including in or near the water, to reduce the chances of conflicts with alligators. Make sure you keep a safe distance if you see an alligator. Keep pets on a leash and away from the water's edge. Swim only in designated swimming areas, and never feed an alligator. So at this time, we'd like to turn it over to whatever questions you may have for us.
You said that deadly alligator attacks are actually pretty rare. Was this just a situation that was particularly
Anomaly.
rare? I mean, they're in like a relatively shallow amount of water. The alligators are in there. Obviously, they live there. I mean, just how unusual and unfortunate is this situation?
Yeah, like we said, it is rare to have alligator attacks of this nature. This was not believed to be a predatory incident, but just simply an incident of a defensive incident where they came upon the alligator beneath the water's edge, and when the canoe struck it, it caused a reaction.
Now, this is the second attack out there since March. How safe is the lake out there?
We place public safety at our highest priority. That's why we have officers and trappers still on scene today. We have all our assets and resources there at this time, trying to do everything we can to make sure we're keeping the public safe, and if there are any concerns, that we're addressing that.
Do the gator attack if they're not provoked?
No, it is uncommon for an alligator to attack if not provoked. That would be rare.
You mentioned the 2 alligators that were dispatched. Were there more or just the only 2?
So we have observed other alligators in the area, none that have been in a size range or in a range that has been a point of concern. But again, we have alligator trappers and officers on scene at this time, continuing to monitor and making sure we do everything we can to keep the public safe.
Is this the mating season?
Yeah, so this is the season of heightened activity right now. So we're
How
definitely in that
dangerous
time
is
frame.
this
It's
time?
danger is not the right, I would say, term in this case.
not
We
dangerous.
always encourage
It's
the public
friendly.
to keep their distance from wildlife. And this is obviously one of those situations where during this time, when alligators are active, we would strongly encourage the public to keep their distance from alligators.
By issuing more tags, do you think this would have maybe curtailed the problem or maybe stopped the problem out there?
So that's a common question. We did increase just this year the allotment for our statewide alligator hunt by 1,000 tags. And along with our statewide nuisance alligator program, we've taken up to 15,000 alligators out of the wild this past year. So it is hard to say that those numbers correlate because there's going to be alligators in the population in the wild anyway. So, with alligators in the wild, there's a potential always there.
Can you kind of explain why you guys do that too, with the tagging and everything?
So we do an evaluation or assessment on an annual basis on the population of alligators, and our biologists look at that, and then we look at the statewide alligator hunt numbers and effectively change that as needed.
Can you speculate about what might have caused the alligator to surface and attack?
So
Alligator being an alligator?
it would be premature to speculate on exactly what happened. We do have an eyewitness, and it sounds like the canoe drifted over on top of the alligator, so it seems to be a surprise, or the alligator was startled. So, again, it's a little premature to speculate on exactly what happened.
You guys don't believe, though, that, I know in some instances, unfortunately, people are believed to have maybe provoked or agitated animals. You don't think that was the case in this situation?
Not in this case, no. But obviously, yes, if there's situations where alligators are fed or become accustomed to humans, that's why we have our statewide nuisance alligator program to remove nuisance alligators. So that's why we strongly encourage the public to not feed alligators, keep their distance, and just observe from a distance, safe distance.
Are you looking to remove this gator?
So we're still in the active investigation portion of this, and a part of that is to remove alligators from the immediate area so we can be certain that we have the alligator that was involved in the incident.
Given-
Without being too gruesome or graphic, was the woman just bitten? Was there
Describe to
dismemberment?
us.
And how do you know?
Describe it to us in
this
great
alligator
detail.
was the one that attacked or bit her?
No, those are great questions. Obviously, out of respect for the family at this time, we won't go into details on that, but just know that there will be evidence that's present that will be able to connect the alligator with the injuries.
Given that this is, of course, their habitat and everything, that's just a fact of, living in Florida, these bodies of water, but also given the fact that there have been 2 recent attacks in this area, would you suggest maybe people try to stay away from this area, or just certain bodies of water? Or I guess, what's your message when people are trying to, just do fun activities?
Yeah, so, listen, Florida is a beautiful state. We encourage people to get out and enjoy our wildlife and enjoy our wilderness areas. But we always do that with a layer of be cautious of your surroundings, be aware of where you are, be aware of the wildlife that's in the area, look for signs, and keep your distance from them. We always say, too, it's great to enjoy wildlife, but enjoy them from a distance. Enjoy them, keep a safe distance from them, and obviously don't provoke them, don't engage with them, let them be, and it's stay safe area.
Talking about wildlife, has there been any update on the bear attack death?
So not as of yesterday. Obviously, we are still in the process of keeping that area safe. We're doing DNA testing on the bears that were captured and killed yesterday. Those are being processed still today. So we're working on, and we'll make sure we get any information and updates on that as soon as we get them. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alligator kills a woman, and they're saying it's an anomaly. Like they've said all the other attacks, like they say with the shark attacks, like they say with the plane crashes. It's all an anomaly, a freak accident, and so there's no need to worry. Statistically, they say that you're safer, just safer driving in your car. You're safer, sorry, not in your car. You're safer flying a plane than being in your car. You're safer swimming in a lake with alligators than driving in your car. So it's an anomaly, a freak accident. They say sharks, when they attack, that's an anomaly too, that it's rare and that you must have provoked them to attack. So this lady was grabbed out of her canoe and pulled out. The husband was in the water with her too. Pulled out, or I guess flipped, maybe the kayak was flipped over.
Polk County, an investigation is underway right now after an alligator attack in Lake Kissimmee State Park.
FWC says 2 people were canoeing when a woman was attacked. And 10 Tampa Bay's Chris Hurst is in Lake Wales tonight.
Chris, these attacks.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was on Twitch this morning. If you guys want to follow my Twitch, you can follow my Twitch. I was on there this morning for a little bit, like an hour or so, and I just was watching some clips. And that was one of the stories. A guy in Florida was killed by a bear. A bear killed him and his dog. And of course, people were wondering about the dog and if there's a GoFundMe for the dog or something. But they said that was the first attack supposedly in Florida, or the first death, bear death in Florida. And so that's an anomaly too. Bear attacks are an anomaly. It's a freak accident, freak of nature. So
they're unusual, but it is gator mating season right now.
Yeah, Courtney, FWC couldn't say whether that actually contributed to this attack, but it comes just 3 months after another woman was bitten by a gator near the boat ramp at Lake Kissimmee State Park.
Gator grabbed her out of the canoe. He tried to fight the gator off.
Just after 4 this afternoon, the call came.
Oh, yeah, there was an attack, I think a month or two ago, too, an alligator attack. But those people didn't die. That was another freak accident, I guess.
At the mouth of Tiger Creek on Lake Kissimmee.
A woman attacked and dragged underwater by an alligator while on the water with a male companion.
Polk County Sheriff's Office helicopter responded along with FWC officers by vessel. The helicopter spotted the victim floating in the water, and FWC officers recovered her from the water where she was pronounced deceased.
Little was confirmed tonight about the attack. We don't know the names of the couple, and it's not clear why it might have happened.
FWC officers will work with our biologists to determine the factors that led up to this incident, and the medical examiner will ultimately decide the final cause of death.
As one gator looked on.
Wow, look at that shit.
Gunshots could be heard in the distance while
that's what I'm saying. This morning when we were watching it on Twitch, the video clip that I had heard, you heard gunshots. So I was like, damn, did they find the alligators and kill them? But on the press conference, like, oh, well, we're looking into them. They didn't want to say they killed them.
One gator looked on. Gunshots could be heard in the distance while investigators say the search continues for the one that killed the woman.
We currently have statewide nuisance alligator trappers out there searching for the alligator involved in this incident.
Similar to what happened in March when a kayaker was bitten in the arm at nearly the same spot. Gators killed get sent to FWC to see if any human tissue or clothing is in its stomach.
That will be part of our investigation as well once that alligator is recovered.
Now, FWC plans to update us tomorrow morning at a press conference. Meantime, it says to always be mindful and keep your distance from an alligator if you see it. And if you think it could be a danger to someone, you are asked to call the alligator hotline at 866-FWC-GATOR.
Lord almighty. All right. I want to jump to another story. Just a couple of things that I have on the list, if I can... hopefully if we can get to them. Who knows what random stuff is going to pop up today. But I'm going to transfer us to a new stream because another story that I reacted to this morning on Twitch was the story about the meth raccoon. The meth raccoon. Well, apparently they had a press conference, an emergency press conference to talk about the meth raccoon. So I'm going to transfer you guys right there. Give me just 2-3 minutes so I can set up the Twitch again, and I'll see you guys in a minute. All right. Oh.